Hey guys, welcome to For the Love of All Things Film. I'm Tanner Hartley.
I'm Amanda Hartley.
I'm Nathan Jones.
Nathan also has a YouTube channel, which we'll put a link down below. But we have decided to kind of do this channel to talk about, well, the title kind of gives it away, our love of all things film. So Nathan is extremely well versed in the movie world.
Ish
Like,
for sure.
Yes. He's like the Marilyn Monroe to this whole Kennedy thing. Like, he is on top of it.
Oh, yes. Very much on top.
Nathan is very well versed in all things movies, and we're kind of learning from him and kind of learning from every way we can. But we wanted to do this channel to kind of share our knowledge, and then hopefully also answer any questions that you guys may have. You can comment down below. You can send us an email, anything like that. The email is fortheloveofallthingsfilm@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter. It's at filmography37. That's like a mouthful. Like, filmography.
You do all these links that we have down below.
Yeah, I'll put them
More or
all down
less,
there.
that's what we're
But
saying.
anyway, we're going to kind of introduce ourselves a little bit. I already said I'm Tanner Hartley. I'm going to be the brains behind this thing, I guess, which they picked like the wrong person for that. Yeah, or lack thereof.
You should be the white guy here.
He's
Wait a minute.
well,
The whitest
we're
guy
all-
here.
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm Tanner.
Zing.
I'm Tanist.
It's because you were born in Hawaii. That doesn't even count.
Doesn't count.
But what kind of got me into loving film? It happened a little later on in life. I mean, like a kid, I watched movies with my parents, mainly my dad. So I was watching things like Rambo, Rocky, basically any like Clint Eastwood Western, Die Hard, Blazing Saddles, stuff like that. So those were ingrained in me from an early age. But now I'm opening it up to more things than just that. Getting into the more indie side of things, the foreign side of things, stuff that you don't really see over here unless you want to pay a lot of money to get it. Criterion.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. But anyway, just trying to watch all I can, learn all I can, and increase the collection. So, what about you, Honky?
Me? Well, my love for movie has grown obviously a lot in the past couple years that we've been together because we watch a lot of movies now and have been growing the collection. It didn't start out as much for me because I didn't ever used to watch movies. I'd rent them from Redbox every once in a while and then forget to return them and own them. I have a few
You
of
end up
those.
paying like $50 for a
Yeah, I
movie.
have a few of
Yeah.
those.
A non-Criterion.
Yeah, like an awful movie that I probably never even watched. But now I've really got into like the like Marvel movies, but also, and we'll probably talk about it at some point, but like the DC shows, about anything on CW, DC related, we watch and we love.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of them, I feel like.
There's so
It's
many.
hard to keep up with, but...
Yeah, like Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow.
iZombie's
iZombie's not part
yeah,
of the
but we watched
Arrowverse,
that,
but
yeah.
When you're talking like one night a week, not one night a week, but every night of the week, you
Yeah.
got one
There's
show
another
coming
show,
out.
yeah.
But it's getting ready to be like end of season break, so that'll allow us to get caught up on things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. But
Which I've only seen
one episode.
Whoa.
a
And
part
you
of the
fell
first
asleep.
episode.
You fell
And I
asleep.
fell asleep.
Keep going.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was late. It was like 11 o'clock, so that's
Just
late.
wait till you see Hodor's dick.
Oh.
Zing.
I mean, I already saw
Second sing of the night.
siblings having sex, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's the first episode.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Arkansas.
Zing again. No, all over the uses.
That was not file. I'm going to file that one away, not to be brought up
Yeah.
again. And then, so what about you?
Well,
Bearded beauty?
Father Beard here. So anyway,
Makes me sound
my love of movies started when I was really young. I've always really loved movies. Kind of like what Tanner had here. I really loved like Braveheart and The Patriot and Gladiator when I was like, really young. And I kind of grew into those movies and started liking, more action adventure comedy kind of movies. And then I started loving like, the independent movies, the foreign films. I'm really into Criterion at the moment currently. But I'm really digging into the past, from like the 1920s all the way to like now. And so I like everything, all about film. But the thing about film for me, especially, is the reason storytelling is the most important thing to me in life. In fact, I actually have a master's in communication, and the thing that I really like most about communication is the fact that we can tell stories to each other to try to capture at least our ideas and maybe someone else's ideas and kind of understand each other in a way. And that's what I think film was so important about film, is that it can portray something that you don't understand completely, but you can kind of empathize or sympathize with it in a way, because for the most part, maybe you're not on the same level as them, or maybe you may not agree with what's being shown on the film, but at least you can notice that experience and see that. And that's what film is all about to me, is that I'm constantly looking for something new. Obviously I will see the genres that are reinvented all the time. I'll see the Logans and the Dark Knights and the Marvel's, Avenger movies and whatnot. But I also really like seeing things that are outside the box. Not too weird, because I'm not like the biggest fan of like David Lynch, because I feel like that's just being weird to be weird.
Loves David Lynch.
I don't like David Lynch at all. Don't let him fool you. But yeah, for the most part, I really love film, especially for the artistic stance that a lot of the stuff that we watch and love has, and it really connects a lot of people that probably aren't connected otherwise, I think. So that's the reason I love film.
You know what I love about movies as a hobby?
Yeah.
Is that it's ever changing, and there's so many different aspects to it. Just like, look at genres. You've got horror, thriller, drama, classic. You've got musicals. You've got foreign films and indie films. There's so many different things. You really can't get bored with it. If you get bored with movies, it's because you're watching the same thing over and over.
Or you don't like movies.
Or you don't like movies, which you wouldn't be watching this anyway.
Yeah.
But, that's the great thing about it, is it's like, okay, so you know what? I watched a comedy today. I'm not really feeling a comedy. Let's watch something more serious. You can throw in something serious. Or you're like, you know what? I'm kind of down in the dumps today. I can watch a movie that has that same feeling, and it makes you feel comfortable. And, you can encapsulate film into every aspect of your life, because you are able to relate to so many different movies on so many different levels at different times in your life. Everybody's got certain movies that they love, because it's like, I was going through a really hard time in my life, and then I watched Chasing Amy, and I was like, oh, that's so great. Like, it helped me through this. Or I watched Good Will Hunting, and it helped me through this. And that's an important thing about film, is it can affect you on so many different levels that you don't even realize until you're past that point, and you look back and you're like, oh yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, a lot of movies, create memories, especially whatever's going on in your life. And, I'm sure we all have several movies where we have associations with certain movies where we connect it to a past memory. And that's something magical about it, on top of, like, it could be painful, too, because sometimes some movies we don't like because, we have some kind of obviously bad association with it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You've got those movies that you think, oh man, I remember it was such a good time, watching this movie with my dad or my grandpa or whatever. And then you've got like, I hate that movie because this happened when I was watching that movie, or this movie was on in the background when I found out some really bad news. And so every time I watch that, I think of that, and it impacted you in that way, So, question for you too. This will be hard for you. It'll be real hard for you. But I'm going to throw it to you first. Number one favorite movie of all time.
I knew you were going to ask that.
Number one.
I'm so awful.
Number one.
Earlier
The
you
Godfather.
asked about...
The Godfather. The original. I'm talking Marlon Brando, cotton pads in the lip. I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Like, yes. Robert Duvall as Tom Hagen. Al Pacino as his son Michael. I'm telling you, awesome. Favorite movie of all time. Hands down, could watch it on a loop. But...
I'm so bad at picking favorites.
No, you're just going to be like Avengers Infinity War, because we saw it in theaters.
We did, and it was awesome. I wouldn't...
No, I wouldn't say that. Can't be the top one.
I need a minute. Nathan, do you know off the top of your head? Yes, Sausage Party.
Sausage Party. Yeah, I do know, but I think I'm gonna pick the movie that's not so obvious, at least with me. I kind of go between two picks, and the first pick being something that's kind of more generic and kind of just like my all-time kind of favorite trilogy. Which, if I said the word trilogy, I'm sure you already know what it is. Lord of the Rings.
I thought you were gonna go before trilogy.
No, before trilogy is the second best trilogy of all time,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, Lord of the Rings. That's what got me into film, and it has pretty much every genre in that movie, which is just really nuts.
And the landscape, like
Yeah,
that
New Zealand.
stuff. Oh my gosh, it's
But
beautiful.
that's my generic kind of answer. My independent answer, which is really not that independent as much anymore, but is in Bruges. The movie of Martin McDonagh. This is the first movie he ever directed. He just directed Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, he's a really good director. I like him a lot. He's does a lot of black comedy, and this movie has a special place in my heart because it was just a certain time in my life where I needed it, and it's a good black comedy. It's got good philosophical kind of takes on things, and kind of just encapsulates me as a person, and that's probably why I identify with it so much, is because it has such a personality to the film. So I definitely recommend checking out In Bruges. If you can find that in, and then Bruges, which is the capital of Belgium. Or no, it's not even the capital, sorry. It's just a city in Belgium.
It's the waffle to Belgium.
Yeah.
The
Bruges.
Belgian waffle.
So,
All
right.
right, figured it out.
No, I haven't. That's a hard. I'm very bad at picking favorites. Like earlier,
She
Nathan
can't
had
even
asked,
pick
like,
what she wants for dinner, let alone pick what movie to watch.
I can have that problem too.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
but you
usually-
know how many times we're sitting there and I'm like, hey, let's watch a movie. She's like, okay, what do you want to watch? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know.
yeah. But how many times do you say, I want to watch this? No, but like you
'Cause I
said
know.
earlier, Nathan, when you're like, who's your favorite president? I was like, because I don't like when it comes to picking a favorite song, a favorite anything. I'm just like, I can't just.
Well,
I
think of it this way. And this might be easier for you. Think about it at this moment in time. Obviously, your favorite can be ever changing. So think about
Yeah.
just whatever pops to your mind.
Like, what's your go-to? What's your go-to movie? One that you know you won't fall asleep watching. It'll get you. It'll suck you in every time.
I don't know. I feel like in a minute I'll know. So let's move on, and I'll say something in a minute. I'm awful at it.
I would ask her what she wants us to move on to, but we'll be here forever waiting on her decision.
Yeah, I need a minute. Stop, just go.
Radio silence, dead air. We're gonna get fined. Hey, whatever. I see. All right, so we kind of told you a little bit about ourselves, like what brought us into this. Some things we're looking to do in this channel. We're gonna go through lots of lists of movies, like top 10s, top 50s. Like what we're gonna start first, which it'll be the video we put up directly after this, is we're gonna start going through the Reddit top 250 page, and it's kind of like fan voted. It's not what critics say, because in the first 20 on that, so that it would be the last part of the list. We'll start at the bottom and work our way to the top. You got movies that are 69% on the Rotten Tomatoes, and you got movies that are 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sure.
It goes all over the board. It's what fans like, not what critics say we
Crickets.
should like.
Crickets.
Or crickets. Some movies are crickets. Like they're shit nerds. Anyway, that's what we're going to start with. We're going to go through the last 20 of the 250, and then we're going to do different things. We've toyed around with lists for movies that happen in one day. From the start of the movie to the end of the movie is just one day's time. Movies like Clerks, Slacker, things like that. We've talked about top movies from the 80s. Nathan is doing a deal right now where he started with 1918 and he's doing 100 years of film, and he watches. You do about 10 years at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does 10 years at a time.
I can't talk right
And
now. No, I clear my throat. I actually I'm going through puberty right now, which is
so
really
cute.
fun.
So cute. But he's doing 10 movies at a time. He's picking 10 movies. He watches more than 10 because he watches multiple ones from each year picks what he feels like was the best movie of that year, and then he puts a little video together telling you about it, which that'll be on his page. What are you currently working on? The 40s?
I'm working on the 1940 to 1950.
There you go.
So
There you go. So he's getting ready to get into some real good movies that most of you have already seen.
a lot of noir.
Yeah, and then be able to tell you about a lot of good movies that you may not have even known were out there. So have you figured out the movie yet?
Yeah.
Or what is it? The Life According to Steve Zissou or whatever his name?
Life Aquatic.
The Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic. I've never seen that
The
one
Life
yet.
Aquatic was
Yeah.
good. I butchered that title.
Yeah, you
The
did.
Life According to Steve
We keep
Zissou.
seeing it, and we haven't.
The
Got
Life
it. You said
Aquatic
it was good,
with
but
Steve whatever. Yeah. Anyway, your
Bill
favorite
Murray.
movie. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say not even like movie, which we went through this last summer, and I'm not as into it as you, but I really like the Harry Potter series and stuff like that.
That's a good collection of
Yeah.
movies.
I feel like, and you can watch it over and over. At least we can.
Yeah.
Watch it over and over again, and each time I feel like, well, you probably have it memorized by now, but each time I find
Well,
more
that's
and
because
more
I've read the
stuff.
books about 400 times each.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing, and we hope you guys like it. Like I said, we'll put some links down here for the Twitter and for Nathan's channel, and I'll put the email address down there. So don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and whichever side it's on, I don't know.
Usually
But
on that
it's
side.
down there.
It's down there.
It's down there. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we hope you look forward to what we have to offer you guys. Have a good night, I guess.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.